What's up, everybody? Sunday Sessions, episode 9, here to deliver you a ton of content about scaling, making additional money, selling products on Amazon. For any of you just joining, welcome. Super excited to be here. For any on the YouTube side, post your comments in the chat. We're here for about 20 minutes every single Sunday, dumping a ton of information on you, answering your questions, allowing you to build successful full-time hustles, side hustles, part-time hustles, whatever hustle you want to get into, but building e-commerce hustles to help generate additional revenue so you can pay off that car loan, get out of student debt, buy that rental property you've been looking into, put $10,000 into GME, whatever you want to do, you can do it because you have additional form of revenue coming in, filling your pockets with money. That's the end of the game here. It's 2021. Most people do not have one form of revenue, one stream of income. And the people that do have one stream of income, they're hurting. They are hurting. What's up, Jay Biz? Appreciate you being here, my friend. So anybody want the big screen experience, you can slide over to YouTube. This is being streamed on both. Love to have you on either or. Super grateful to have all of you here. And you know what time it is? It's Q&A time. So throw your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of them, fully transparent. There's nothing I hold back. I think that it's important to provide a ton of information. Tekken, hello, what's up? Ton of information to you, because when we first got started, shit like this didn't exist. Things like this just weren't out there. They weren't available to us. And even today, they are available, but there's so much of it, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. I don't want anybody to get overwhelmed. I want this to be a smooth process, smooth sailing, where you're getting the information that you need immediately so you can then run with it and take action so you can grow your business quicker than you would if you were doing it by yourself. That's my goal. So let's see. We got some questions flowing in here. Let's see what we got. So Ricardo said, why do you do wholesale more than private label? Isn't it possible to scale private label like how you do wholesale? Yeah, it's possible. So for anybody who's just new here or just joining us or hasn't been here for a while, our business, we sell on Amazon. We operate 100% fulfilled by Amazon business, FBA. And 85% of our business is wholesale, meaning that we purchase products from brands, manufacturers, distributors, and we resell them on Amazon for a profit. The other 15% of our business is private label, meaning we manufacture our own products, we create listings for them, and then we sell them on Amazon for a profit. Now, this gentleman asked why we focus more on wholesale than private label. And my firm belief and my experience shows that building a successful wholesale business is much easier and much quicker to scale than it is a private label company, right? Let's just paint the picture here. So private label, got to create a product, right? So you spend a month researching it, month on the low end, month researching it, contacting manufacturers, submitting or getting test orders. So let's even say 2 months. Getting test orders, then you finally decide, like, this is the product. So 2 months are gone. Now you got to wait another month for it to get shipped to you. So now you're 3 months in and it's getting received at Amazon. Now you're 3.5 months in. Now you got to run ads, drive traffic to it. Now you're 4 months in. So it's like 4 months from today, if you were to get started, you won't even start seeing sales. And then if you're a new seller, Amazon's going to keep some of that money for the first couple of weeks. So now you're 5 months in and you're not seeing any money yet. Right? But with wholesale, you literally can place a wholesale order today and see profits in 2 to 3 weeks. You will have a paycheck from Amazon, 2 to 3 weeks, making sales, making money. That's what I'm about, making money. So I'm not saying that anybody should do one or the other. I'm a firm believer that you should do both. And what we do, and most people that we mentor do, is they generate lots of revenue and lots of profits by doing wholesale. And then when they have a better understanding of the marketplace, they better understand the end consumer, they understand what niches they should get into. Then they go and take 5,000, 7,000 of their profits from wholesale and invest in a private label product. For us, that's what worked best. And for a lot of the people that we work with directly, that works best for them. So Mata said, hey, man, how do I know which brands will make trademark complaints against me? So you want to look at you want to look at the third Keepa chart. And that third Keepa chart will give you all the information. So you want to look at like the number of sellers and then look historically, right? So everybody's Keepa chart should be set by default in your settings on Keepa to 1 year because COVID messed with the whole market. You can no longer look at 3 months of a Keepa chart. It does not make sense. You need to have your default settings on Keepa to 1 year. This light is ridiculous. Let me just turn that off totally. So 1 year is what you need to have your default settings to. And now you need to analyze that and hover under that third Keepa chart and look for sellers. So if it's consistently one seller for 11 months out of the year, and then there's 2 sellers for the other month, high chance that that company's sending out infringement complaints, right? So you're looking for consistency with multiple sellers on the listing, and then it's okay. Then my team, our team makes a decision. Your team could make a decision. You could make a decision. Like, okay, this listing looks legit. I'm probably not going to get kicked off of it. Let me buy some inventory and see what I can start selling. Now, does that mean that that's always absolutely 100% correct? No. There's always flaws in the system. So if I'm ever concerned, I just lighten my order a little bit. I don't go as heavy, so I don't get as hit as hard with my cost of goods. Instead of putting $3,000 out, I might only put $300 out. Because by the time I get that IP complaint, could probably sell through half the inventory, then could probably come to an amicable solution with the manufacturer to move the rest of that inventory. So we're going to slide to this next question. Let's see what else we got here. How long does it take to receive ordered product sample? So like I was saying before, it can take up to 30 days. You know, sometimes it could even take longer, sometimes less. But that's something you just need to communicate with your manufacturer. Like, hey, manufacturer, what's the estimated delivery time of this? You know, and if they say 7 weeks, you say, okay, is there a way I could expedite that a little? I'd like to get it in 4 weeks. And then they say, yeah, it's going to cost you an extra $100. And then you say, okay, that works for me. And then they send it out a little more express than they would. But you got to communicate. Listen, 99% of any of my problems that I've ever caused in my entire life are from a lack of communication, whether it's family problems, friend problems, work problems. Any problem is a lack of communication. So just be transparent, open your mouth, talk, use your voice. And when you use your voice to communicate with people, whether it's personal relationships, business relationships, mountains can get moved. It's crazy what happens when all you do is open your mouth and communicate exactly how you're feeling, and what you want. Just the floodgates open up and so much opportunity presents itself. It's wild. All right, Yasir said, can you help me? I want wholesalers or distributors to get ungated in toys. Yeah, try EE distribution for toys. That's a little nugget for you, Yasir. This guy said, is selling on Amazon a scam? No, it is not a scam. There's literally next week, today is the 4th of April. On the 10th of April, literally, just on a whim, about 2 weeks ago, we started talking about it. We're doing a meetup in Orlando or in Miami. 150 people are going to sign up or show up. It's not even, it's free. You don't even have to sign up. It's free. 150 people who are literally changing their lives. No problem. Okay, this is a great question. Arujo.jet said, what's the best way to start with FBA without losing too much money? Test orders. So you want to go in and test the waters with your test orders, if that makes sense, right? So you don't want to go in and be like, all right, this product's doing great. I could sell 600 of them. Let me take all my money that I have to invest and purchase 600 units of this because it's going to be amazing. Because the Amazon market is very much like the stock market or the cryptocurrency market. There's peaks and valleys. It ebbs and flows. Bitcoin can change $3,000 to $4,000 in a day. On Amazon, a keep a chart, the price can drop $3-4 in a day. So you got to be mindful of that. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Do some test orders. If you think you could sell 600, start with 48. Maybe go to 60. Test the waters first. Get real data. Real data is the best data. Real company sales data is what drives Amazon growth, by understanding the current inventory that you sell. So do a test order. If the 60 work out great, then go heavier. Maybe get 240, maybe 480. If those work out great, then you get 600. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It is Easter. This guy says he really looks forward to the Sunday sessions when he's packing shipments. Take notes from that guy. Who is that? Capital City Tech. Take notes from that guy. Homeboy right now it's Sunday. I don't know what country he's in, but over here in New Jersey, it's Sunday, 6:10 p.m. Homeboy's packing orders on a Sunday. That's side hustle 101, right? When most people are watching the game, or this guy's packing orders. Listen to me talk about Amazon business growth. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. All right, but Matas said, I know from following you guys that you also sell in the UK. Do you source all products in the US and ship to UK, or do you buy from the UK and sell in the UK? So any sales that happen in other countries for us, our inventory is sourced in the United States. So we purchase inventory in the US and ship it to other countries. I feel that the UK market, a lot of these other markets, they want the products that we have, but you can't get them in the United Kingdom. Nobody can get them in the United Kingdom because they're US-based products, right? So what we do is we source them in the US and we ship them to other countries. What else we got here? How much, Yerbil said, how much should I start, or what sales number, his question, let me reword it. His sales number is what sales number? Damn, this sun is beaming right now. This YouTube video is just beaming on me. My face is super bright. But what sales number should he hit? He's talking revenue, should he hit before to start using a repricer? So what sales number should he hit to start using a pricer? I think it's less about a sales number and more about quantity of SKUs. So I think anything over 10 SKUs warrants a repricer, because the amount of time you go in, you could have to reprice 10 SKUs 7 times a day to be buy box prioritized. So any time you can save from spending looking at these products, changing their prices manually on Amazon, even if it's an hour a week, 3 hours a week, it adds up. An hour a week times 4 weeks, that's 4 hours a month. If you're 3 hours a week, now you're talking 12 hours a month. It adds up. The repricer is super worth it. You definitely want to use a repricer to manage your SKUs. It will save you tons of time. My friend, do you recommend to have a website to open an account with a wholesaler or manufacturer? Listen, it won't hurt to have one. Is it required? No, it is not required. Do some companies ask to see one? Yes, they do. So can it hurt? No. Is it a requirement? No, it's not a requirement. So what I would do, if you're getting a lot of companies that are asking for one, I would just go on Fiverr, have someone create a WordPress website. It'll cost you $200, very small investment. Have them list some products on there, put your company information, bickety bam. But you do not want to deceive the suppliers, wholesalers, distributors, and manufacturers that you're doing business with. You do not want to deceive them by saying, hey, I'm looking to purchase your inventory so I could sell it on said website, and then hit them with the link to your website. You do not want to do that, right? Because that is not good for relationship building. And at the end of the day, the most important portion of this business is the relationship opportunities. You have to be building relationships or you're screwed. So lying to a distributor or manufacturer brand from the rip is not helpful for anybody. Hey, B. Homeboy. Oh, this is a great question. Rizzo. Is it best to start with books, DVDs, and board games when first selling on FBA? Listen, I think to gain, if you don't have a lot of money and you're looking to just get your feet wet in the FBA game, then absolutely books is a good opportunity for you. But do not get sidetracked to the end goal, right? The end goal is to operate wholesale, private label, sell tons of units through FBA. The end goal is not to be ordering truckloads and sorting through gaylords of used books. That is not the end goal, right? That is a dirty job. There's good money to be had in it, very high return on investment, but it's very challenging to scale. I'm yet to meet a bookseller other than these huge booksellers like that sell brand new books. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head on Amazon, but I'm yet to meet a used bookseller who's doing multi-million dollars a year in sale, just because it's very complicated to do that. You got to sort through literally tens of thousands of books to get couple hundred books to sell. So yeah, don't get me wrong, the ROIs are great, but the work entailed with it is very, very, very labor intensive. So yes, if you have a little bit of money, absolutely start selling some books. Yeah, so homeboy just said, just be mindful with that, right? IP alert. IP alert is using user submissions. The reason why we don't use IP alert as a company, and this is nothing, I don't even know who IP alert is, right? I don't know the guys who created it. This is not negative about IP alert. Just from my experience, we tried IP alert maybe 2 years ago or right when it came out. And we realized that a lot of the listings that were coming up, IP alert listings, were listings that we've been selling on for years, never had any communication with the brand stating that we could sell or we couldn't sell, never received an IP complaint. So if we were going off the metrics that IP alert were submitting to us, we would literally be missing out on tens of thousands of dollars in additional sales monthly. So we prefer not to use it. We prefer to just take a quick look at the third keeper graph. It's so simple to do that. Nice, ready for the meetup. That's great, man. Nice, man. We'll see you in Orlando. Yeah, also, Noah just brought up a valid point. ASGTG also has a good list. I believe you send them an email. Is that right, Noah? You send them an email with the brand name, and they send you back whether it's an IP, has an IP complaint on it. I believe, Noah, if you're still here, that would be great. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I like those guys over at ASGTG. They're good guys. Some good ways to find high ROI products. Put in the work. Put in the work. If you're waiting for someone to just hand you a bunch of great ROI products, don't get me wrong, people do sell lists out there. Well, I don't sell lists, but put in the work. Just put in the work. Spend the time. Start scanning stuff. Go to your local store. Start scanning stuff. Reach out to wholesalers. Start scanning lists and UPC scrapers. Put in the work, and the products will appear. I promise you. This is the beginning. The early on stages of your Amazon business are sweat equity investment, right? You need to be putting the work in, or you're not going to build this. Most people, I get a ton of messages weekly, like, "Hey, I just started yesterday. I'm looking to bring on 3 VAs. It's like, what? Like, what? 3 VAs? You started yesterday. You don't even know what to do yet. What do you need 3 VAs for? You know, you need to train yourself, teach yourself how to do this stuff. Because if you get 3 VAs, they're going to be doing right, doing wrong. You don't know. You have no idea because you've never done it. You don't understand the processes. Dion's opening an Amazon account next week. Noah said, smash that like button, everyone. Appreciate you, Noah. All right, we're going to do maybe 1 or 2 questions here. I'm going to brickety break out of here. This is a good question. Should we make different accounts for wholesale and private label? So it's a 2-part question. And then the second is having 2 accounts being operated from same IP. All right, so we prefer to sell our wholesale and our private label products on 1 account, right? Because we're trying to grow our account health and grow our customer feedback. So we could become a larger seller, get better buy box prioritization, all of that good stuff. So we prefer to do them on both. Some people prefer to split them. When it makes it easier to split them is if you plan on selling it in the future. It's just much easier to split the reports between 2 different Amazon accounts, which is the goal for a lot of people, to sell these private label companies. And now also his second question was, is that an issue creating a second account? So Amazon actually now allows second accounts, but you just have to communicate with them. And there's a kind of like a stipulation. You cannot sell the same products on both accounts, or both accounts will get suspended. So if you're selling, like I got this roll of tape here, if you're selling rolls of tape on account A and you're selling rolls of tape on account B, then your account will get suspended. What is the difference between a repricer? This is Khalid. He said, what is the difference between a repricer and Amazon automatic pricing? So Amazon automatic pricing is their repricer, right? But it's nowhere near as good as some of the repricers on the market. What it does is you set minimums and maximums, and it's supposed to work in between there. But I personally don't like it. Also, it's very novice, right? And it's not reading all of the other things on the listing. So I suggest not using it. They're essentially both repricers, but what Amazon's automatic pricing does not do, these other repricers do. So I suggest just going in, making the investment, getting one of these automatic repricers. Okay, this is a good question. This is the last question I'm going to answer. Well, second to last, I'll answer this one first. Thoughts on selling electronics from FBA? We do sell some electronics. We're not really heavy in the electronics because they have a very high return rate. Electronics are about 15%, similar to what apparel are. So we prefer to stay away from electronics. It's just not our cup of tea. It is just not our cup of tea, the electronic game. Actually, at the bottom of this video, there'll be a repricer. When it uploads, probably in 2 or 3 days, there'll be a repricer link to it that everybody can use. All right, so this is a great question. And really, I could just point to a YouTube video that's going to be right here, and you could click on it and answer it, but I'll answer it publicly for everybody as well. So this guy or gentleman or woman's been selling on Amazon and having some trouble selling against Amazon retail. So they're saying that Amazon is competing for the buy box on listings that they're on, and Amazon is dominating it. They're not getting into the buy box. What do we look for on the Keepa chart to know that it's worth selling against Amazon? Sometimes they share the buy box, and sometimes they don't. Yes, so that's what you were looking for on the Keepa chart. First, there's a few different types of, I wish I had a screen share set up right now, but there's a few things to look out for when Amazon's on the listing. One, how frequently on their list are they on the listing? If they're on the listing, let's say 20% of the time, and that 20% hasn't been in the past 3 months, I'm all over that listing. I'm going to analyze past 5 years, look at it. Okay, they dropped out 7, 8 months ago, having come in, not even for a day, 2 days. Let me go heavy on this listing because most likely they're not going to come back on. Another one to look out for is when their price, the orange line, is higher than the buy box price. So if that's the case, then absolutely I'm all over that listing because they never historically, after looking at the Keepa chart, they're not dropping their prices to match the buy box price. They don't on those specific listings. Listings to look for to stay away from are listings where Amazon is consistent all the time and you hover over the buy box and they're winning it all the time on Keepa. When you're hovering over those little purple dots and Keepa is showing you that Amazon buy box, Amazon buy box, Amazon buy box, then that's not something you want to get into either. Another listing to stay away from when Amazon's on the listing is when the green bar, the green or the orange Amazon bar is lower than the buy box price, meaning that when they are on the listing, they're always selling it cheaper than everybody else. Another listing to stay away from is a listing that only Amazon has been selling on historically for multiple months at a time, right? Because that's a good indication that you may be able to create the listing, but most likely you will get kicked off of it. All right. Do you have to buy directly from the brand? You can. I prefer to buy from wholesalers and distributors. I from my past 7 years of experience, wholesalers and distributors are definitely less expensive than brand direct. Sometimes you do get some great brand direct deals if you communicate with them, but from my experience, definitely I prefer wholesalers and distributors. So anybody who will or lives in or will be in the Florida area next week, I'm talking April 7th, will be in Orlando. Free meetup. Come hang out. It's at the Rocks Bar inside. I think I don't know. It's on our Instagram. Check it out. But it's at the Rocks Bar in Orlando. Come hang out with us. Then we will be in Miami. Free meetup. April 9th, April 10th, come hang out with us. It's going to be crazy. We put together this amazing presentation. We're going to be delivering the heat to y'all. I appreciate you coming, hanging out with me for Sunday Sessions, episode 9. What an experience it's been. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you on the flip side. Stay grateful and stay lit. Richie hustles.